Since their foundation by St. Francis in the 13th century, the Order of Friars Minor has been missionary. The first Franciscans arrived in Alto Peru, which is today western Bolivia, in the 16th century, and established themselves among the simple, humble indigenous peoples. During the colonial period, they developed an amazing missionary activity on the western highlands of Sucre, Potosí, Cochabamba, and La Paz. Until the Holy See, at the beginning of the 20th century, entrusted the Friars Minor with the pastoral organization of apostolic vicariates for the evangelization of the nomadic groups of diverse culture and language throughout the vast tropical regions in the eastern part of Bolivia. The shortage of Franciscan brothers from Bolivia was overcome through the solidarity of those who arrived from Italy, Spain, Austria, Germany, Poland, and the United States. Their tremendous activity led to the consolidation of the missionary province of San Antonio in Bolivia. An apostolic vicariate is an ecclesiastical jurisdiction entrusted by the Holy See to a religious order. The Franciscan vicariates were constituted in Beni in 1917, in Cuevo, today known as Camiri, in 1919, at Chiquitos in 1930, and at Ñuflo de Chavez in 1951. The Chiquitos Vicariate became a diocese in 1995, but the other three apostolic vicariates in Bolivia are still the responsibility of the St. Anthony province, the most of any in the Franciscan order. The Franciscans in Europe and the United States, with many benefactors, helped the missionaries in the building up of the local Bolivian church. The main focus is the native peoples, whose cultures are in danger of being lost. Thus, an effort to learn their languages and elaborate catechisms and so forth in these languages. Since these regions are vast, without roads and proper communications, the missionaries must often travel large distances on foot, by mule, or in dangerous canoe trips. Much importance has been given to the formation of laypersons, entrusting them with pastoral responsibility, because there are hundreds of communities where a Franciscan brother arrives just once a year. Leadership training of native farmers for Sunday liturgy of the Word and for catechism are important aspects of church life. An important concern is the promotion of native vocations, both for the Franciscans and for the diocesan clergy. Who will in turn organize local church communities, mothers' clubs, youth groups, agricultural and housing cooperatives, and other neighborhood organizations. The main form of ecclesial organization is the parish, organized as a community of communities for pastoral attention, sacraments, devotions, processions, and fiestas, respecting the local customs and traditions, fostering the spirituality of this deeply religious people. The church seeks to inspire youth with enthusiasm to follow Christ according to the Franciscan charism. Youth enjoy music, so many groups exist in all the parishes to support the liturgies and the pastoral activities.
Es muy importante la música.
Native music is very important. Each ethnic group has its own style and instruments, and the faithful are often encouraged to sing in their own native language during the liturgies.
En su idioma original en las liturgias.
In the last years, beginning in Urubicha of Guarayos, the Baroque music composed in the Jesuit reductions of the 17th and 18th century has been recovered, and the musical archive of Chiquitos has been organized at Concepcion, the episcopal seat of the Ñuflo de Chavez Vicariate, leading to the celebration of the International Music Festival of the Chiquitos Missions every 2 years in different locations.
Lo social.
In this country where the vast majority is impoverished, there is an urgent need for social ministry that is practical and specific to people's circumstances.
Práctica y urgente.
It is often said, it's better to teach people how to fish than to just give them fish. The truth, however, is that what's really needed is for the river to be returned to them, a matter of ecology and of justice.
La mayoría de las personas.
Most of those who fall ill belong to families without jobs and therefore lack money. Their children are undernourished. Their communities lack roads, safe drinking water, and medical attention.
No hay atención médica.
The index of child mortality is high. Life expectancy is low. When doctors and medicine are unavailable, diarrhea or even a cold may prove fatal.
Por este motivo, se construyen y mantienen centros médicos.
So the Franciscans build and maintain medical centers and pharmacies. Nurses are trained. Traditional medicine is fostered. The poor receive monetary aid, and doctor visits are organized, especially for the most distant communities.
Más alejadas para la atención médica. Los métodos de producción.
Because agricultural methods are generally antiquated, the prices of the products are low, distances are great, and transportation expensive, many have abandoned their communities in search of a better life in the villages and the cities.
En los pueblos y ciudades. Hay iniciativas para
So in response, livestock cooperatives have been formed to improve the production and breeding of beef, pork, and sheep. Artificial lakes created for the people, their livestock, and also for fish breeding are especially helpful during the dry season.
los meses de sequía. Con los clubes de madres.
Through mothers' clubs and schools, family gardens are fostered to overcome childhood malnutrition, to improve family income, and to slow migration into the cities.
A las ciudades. El agua es vida, es salud.
Water means life and health. People must often travel to get it, so dams, artificial lakes, and pools have been built to provide this essential element for the benefit of the people and their livestock.
Y para el ganado. Los hermanos misioneros.
With the aid they have received, the missionary brothers have obtained manual or air-operated pumps to water the vegetable gardens. Fish are bred in the artificial pools for the benefit of the community.
De la misma gente de la comunidad.
Bien agradecida con el Padre, ¿no? Así que con él ve la necesidad de la gente que vive, gente del campo, y Él ve la necesidad y lo que Él promete lo cumple. Gracias al Padre que ya tenemos esa bomba que tomamos ya agua limpia, ¿no?
Como le digo, gracias a Él, que ese gran apoyo y gran ayuda que nos brinda siempre el Padre, que ha sido la única persona que se ha compadecido de esta comunidad y que sigue ayudando de aquí para adelante, ¿no? Y así que rogamos al Divino Creador que lo conserve sano al Padre y que nos siga ayudando.
La mayor parte de la población
Most of the population lives in tents and huts with palm or straw roofs, sometimes without walls. This is conducive to the multiplication of disease-carrying insects.
transmitir enfermedades. Por este motivo hay proyectos de vivienda.
In response, there are housing projects that maintain the native style but use better materials. Families work together on these projects while the parish provides machinery, technical assistance, and material.
Y material que no tienen los indígenas.
Por eso yo pido igual aquí a todos que se animen, sobre más que todo que piensen en sus hijos, que sus hijos son el futuro de aquí unos pocos años más.
Bueno, yo les diría a ellos que realmente ellos aprovechen esta ayuda que el Padre Él nos ofrece a nosotros, ¿no? Porque otra persona no va a ver igual que Él, siempre Él se preocupa por nosotros.
La tasa
51% of the people are illiterate. Most have only a couple of years of schooling. Very few enjoy a professional
de
education.
formación profesional. Por este motivo, los franciscanos y otras
Therefore, the Franciscans and other religious congregations build schools, both elementary and secondary, pastoral centers, and boarding houses for students from the surrounding countryside. Practical workshops are offered in mechanics, carpentry, and handicrafts. Courses on health, traditional medicine, and leadership are also organized.
medicina tradicional y liderazgo.
36 distinct ethnic groups give Bolivia a wealth of cultural expression. But due to past suppression of indigenous language and cultures, 14 ethnic minorities within the 3 apostolic vicariates are in danger of extinction. The missionaries are making a great effort to reverse this. Indigenous language and music are encouraged, autochthonous organizations have been strengthened, and liturgies are adapted to the local native culture.
Cuando llegaron los
When the Franciscans arrived in the 1930s, they found several of the ancient, beautiful, and famous churches of the Jesuit reductions totally destroyed, others near collapse or in very poor condition. The Franciscans assumed the responsibility to save and restore these great structures, along with their music and traditions.
música y tradiciones.
La música no se compra, solamente esta música es de nuestro pueblo de Concepción, ese es su ritmo de la música de la Virgen María Concepción. Todo lo que es de los antiguos, ¿no? eso nosotros todavía nosotros estamos tocándolo y por eso yo quiero que otra vez que no importaría, ¿no?, que no sea todo, ¿no?, pero por lo menos que salga de la época de esto música típica, ¿no?
Gracias a la colaboración
Thanks to the collaboration of many institutions and benefactors, Franciscans and others, the Jesuit temples have been restored in the reductions of San Ignacio de Mojos, Concepción, San Javier, Santa Ana,
San Miguel,
San Miguel,
San Rafael
San Rafael,
y San José,
and San Jose. These 7 have been declared World Heritage Sites by UNESCO and are now important tourist attractions in Bolivia. In addition, to respond to pastoral needs of the surrounding communities, the Franciscan vicariates have established and built many new parishes with all the necessary infrastructure. The convent of San Antonio in the city of Santa Cruz has become the center for the friars of all three of the Franciscan vicariates in Bolivia.
Santa Cruz es la principal ciudad.
Here, in the main city in eastern Bolivia, meetings, retreats, the Franciscan Week, and many other activities take place. So a plan for a pastoral center is being developed to welcome and support the activities of all the pastoral agents involved.
Pastoral que puedan realizar diferentes funciones. Para la pastoral,
all these activities and projects require the collaboration and solidarity of many people. The Franciscans in the vicariates work with the poorest and most excluded in this impoverished country, and the Bolivian state is not sufficiently concerned or able to attend to the basic needs of the people.
In Bolivia
has no ecclesiastical tax, for example, like Germany, to sustain the clergy, support pastoral ministry, and maintain church infrastructure. Without the sympathetic support of international institutions and benefactors, the realization of these works would not be possible. In Europe, institutions such as Adveniat, Miserior, Hands United, and others were organized to do fundraising and coordinate aid to Bolivia, to the vicariates, to the parishes, and to the people themselves, paying for training, salaries, and transportation of personnel, as well as the construction and maintenance of the necessary infrastructure, even many of the roads. The Franciscans are God's instruments for this aid. As good administrators, they know the real situations, needs, and priorities of the people. Thanks to many benefactors, they have lived many years with the people, sometimes in solitude, a simple and humble life, perhaps not as poor as the majority of the population, but with open hands and an open heart. We hope these images serve to make clear and understandable what is today the Franciscan mission in the apostolic vicariates of Bolivia. We admit that the fulfillment of this great mission is much more complex and that not everything can be explained in a few minutes. But the truth is that many European and North American Franciscans have given their lives for these missions.
Han dado su vida por estas misiones.
New questions and concerns will arise as life and the mission of being witnesses of the kingdom continues.
Damos gracias a todos los...
We give thanks to all the brothers and sisters who trust in us and through us help so many people, especially many of the poorest in Bolivia.
Muchos pobres en Bolivia. Este video.
We hope this video has not only been informative, but also an act of thanksgiving to all those of you who have helped us and will continue to do so.
Me llama Francisco, me llama el Señor, Él es mi alegría, Él es mi amor. Alegre aleluya, será mi canción. Señor, te bendigo por mi vocación. Señor, te bendigo por mi vocación. El joven Francisco la voz escuchó de Cristo y alegre con él se marchó. Cantó a sus hermanos la luna y el sol, al agua y al viento y al lindo arrebol. Francisco brindaba